Hello, folks, and you are tuned into another episode of Listen in 3D. This is episode number 89 or 84.5.6. Well, this is our second take doing this. A little bit of a podcasting secret. Yeah, we tried doing this one a while back, but due to some technical difficulties, I'm not going to say what happened. Yeah, we couldn't get it done. And it's probably one of the reasons why I didn't have an episode for y'all in June. But yeah, this is episode number 89. I'm your boy Justin, aka Too Tall for You Fool. And together we are both Team 3D, the host of Listen in 3D, where we discuss, dissect, and debate the music and the albums in the world of hip hop and other genres. Like what you're seeing, like this video, or dislike it. Comment, share it around, and most importantly, subscribe. If you want to help us out one step further when you do subscribe, click that notification bell. That way you know when all our videos and shorts go live. We have a lot of content coming, so just keep it locked here. We have a lot of just good stuff we're doing, from the shorts to the albums we're discussing, like this one today. Um, so before we get into this, in terms of on the West Coast, would this guy be in your top 10 for West Coast rappers? Uh, Yeah. Definitely top 25. Okay, that's fair. He'd probably be in my top 10 if I were to conduct a list of my favorite West Coast rappers. He, definitely has come a long way, from where he started and then from who he started working with later, early on in his career, later on in his career, and, where he is now. And I'm actually very excited to talk about this guy. So I think he's definitely had a big impact on the West Coast overall. So let's get into who we're talking about today.
For sure. So today we're talking about Exhibit X to the Z.
X to the Z.
Yeah. So we're dissecting the Restless album today, and it's his third studio album. It dropped December 12th in the year 2000 through Epic Records, Loud Records, SRC Records, and Open Bar Entertainment. It's certified platinum. It peaked at number one top R&B and hip hop albums and number 12 Billboard 200. The singles from the album are X, Front to Back, and Get Your Walk On. The music videos are the same as the singles, with Don't Approach Me added later on. And the guest appearances are Nate Dogg, Dr. Dre, Eric Sermon, J. Rowe, Tash, KRS One, Snoop Dogg, Eminem, Defari, Goldie Loc, Cocaine, DJ Quick, Sugar Free, Butch Cassidy, and King T.
Yeah, he had a lot of guest stars or guest appearances on this album. So
Yeah, that
uh,
was quite a bit.
yeah, it was quite a bit. But overall, it probably is his best album. Definitely
I
production
agree.
wise, it's his best album, at least in my opinion. And
Yeah,
close
I
second would
agree. That's
be 40 Days, 40 Nights. I think would be a close second. But Exhibit, he's been around. I think a lot of people do know him for being a host of the old MTV show Pimp My Ride,
oh yeah.
and I'm pretty sure he had some pimped out rides. So yeah,
Yeah, I think with the help of that show, it helped bring him more to the forefront of mainstream, I guess you would say. I mean, he had a lot of good hits with big time producers and rappers, but it kind of made him more of a household name. Now parents know who he is, or older adults know who he is because of that show. I think.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. I figured we'd talk to him a little bit of Pimp My Ride. So
Yeah.
he had a pretty interesting upbringing. I know he was born in Detroit, from my understanding, and then he spent a lot of his youth in Albuquerque, New Mexico. His father was a preacher. I know he lost his mother at a very young age, like when he was 8 or 9. And if you listen to like more and more of his music, like throughout the years, the albums he's done, he discusses that. I believe he came to L.A. at the age of like 16 or 17, hooked up
Oh,
with the Liquidation Crew, and then eventually he was able to secure a deal, and then in 1996, he recorded the single "Paparazzi" off his first studio album, "At the Speed of Life." and the rest was history. That's was the actually very first song I heard from Exhibit, and
Oh yeah,
even though Restless is probably his best album to this day, Paparazzi is my favorite song from Exhibit, hands down. Just
yeah. That track's pretty hard. That was
yeah,
one of my favorites too back then.
yeah. So love Paparazzi, and then other good songs on there too, The Foundation, and just a very very good album. Definitely check it out. Hopefully later on down the line we can explore maybe either that album or one of other any of other Exhibits albums. So he's done music over the years. I believe he is. If I let me pull up his discography real quick. But he let me see. He's done. I want to say he has 7 studio albums, maybe eight. I know he recently did put out a new album, which is The Kingmaker through Greenback Records. I've been keeping a close eye on that one. I do want to get it on vinyl. Very, it's very good in terms of just content and everything. I would say if you haven't listened to it, just give it a listen. And I think you'll be pretty impressed with it. And then he has 8 studio albums. Yeah, Kingmaker is his eighth one. So um, over the years, I've gotten all of them for the most part. I mean, I've been pretty impressed with all of them except Full Circle. I didn't really like that one too much, but Napalm, even though that came out over 10 years ago now, I think that hit hard. That was a pretty nice one in my opinion. And
Did
Weapons
you
of
like
Mass Destruction was a good one.
Did you like Man versus Machine?
Yeah, yeah, I
That
got.
was
Yeah, I was looking through my CDs, and those were actually the two I found. That because I guess he had one main one, and then he put out 3 bonus tracks, and then recently got it on vinyl too, because it's like on sale. Man versus Machine. If you do want to get into collecting some of Exhibit's vinyl, Man versus Machine is an easy one to find. I like that one. I know a lot of people that didn't don't think it's one of his best, but I think it's up there. I mean, I don't think it's as good as 40 Days and 40 Nights, but I thought it was a good
yeah.
one.
That's how I felt after when I heard Man versus Machine coming off after Restless. I
Hmm.
think I was expecting sort of similar that same style of production and singles on Man versus Machine, and I was kind of disappointed. I
Hmm.
didn't really like it too much, but there was a few songs that were
Yeah,
good. But yeah, that's how I
I
felt
think
pretty much.
I think with Man versus Machine, just the singles. I think Multiply and Symphony and X Major. I think those were good singles
Yeah,
that matched it. I
Multiply.
think
Yeah,
the Choke Me Spank Me song, or yeah, that's probably one of his
yeah,
worst singles in my opinion.
yeah.
Yeah, that's a
That's funny because earlier this week I was just randomly saying that line at work, just randomly to myself. Just kind of
yeah,
it just randomly popped in my head because I'm like, damn, I forgot about that.
yeah,
One of
that
my friends had the doubles on the singles and he used to mix that all the time. Yeah, it was
yeah.
just
It
funny.
just I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the concept behind the song was, but
Yeah,
he's definitely had a lot better. So I mean,
yeah, definitely.
if you do want to get into Exhibit, I would recommend not listening to that
Yeah,
song.
yeah, that wouldn't be one to first come into it with.
Yeah,
I would say Paparazzi and Year 2000 is like
yeah.
the
Year
gateway right
2000.
there.
Yeah, yeah. That I mean, I usually do the stuff that should have made the album like toward the end of the show. Year
Yeah,
2000 should have been on this shit, man.
yeah,
Yeah, Year 2000. That
yeah,
was. I mean, I have the single for it, but I feel if he ever does reissue it, hopefully he puts that shit on there.
yeah.
That was a good song.
Yeah, it was, man. I used to have that single too. Well, it was on a mix CD. I bought it at the Linwood indoor swap meet, and I would check out the music over there. And I bought the mix CD, and that track was on there, and that was like how it started off that mix, and that was one of my favorites right there.
Yeah,
The year
yes, yes.
2000 beat was pretty dope.
Yeah, certainly. Yeah, yeah, definitely. But I mean, Exhibit. I mean, he's really put it down for the West, even when the West was kind of non-existent at some points to some people. I feel like he's always held it down anytime he's come out, and just during that time we needed more rappers like him coming out. Just him,
Yeah,
Dub C. Just people, Mac 10. This guy's doing their thing, representing for LA. So, so it's always a good thing. Uh, so, so let's get into your pre-listening thoughts. Like, where were you when you got the album? Do you remember getting the album? Do you remember what you're excited to hear on the album when you got it? Or
yeah. So some of my earlier memories about this album was, I would see the music videos on MTV or BET.
mm,
Rap City would play a lot of the music videos, and I was in 10th grade when all the singles came out from the album, and my stepdad bought the album. He bought the CD, and if we're driving somewhere, he'd have it playing in his car. So, and then I would take the CD out and just listen to it at home on my stereo, and I grew to like a lot of the songs on there, and um, you know, it was just like a cool time because I felt like, dang, this was cool because it was right after the Chronic 2001, and the
yeah,
production was still smashing, and it had like a big guest appearance like 2001 did, and
mm,
it was just for me, it was like one of those albums that always stuck out.
yeah. I feel like 2001 really kicked down the door for this album because he was working with Drake. He
Yeah,
was definitely at a high point. He appeared on Eminem's album, and
right.
just I feel like it was like a cold continuation of what he was doing there. So
Yeah,
I know for me, I don't remember what if I got it at Best Buy or whatever, but just got it. To put it in my CD player. I was blown away. I have it in my Discman when I was in high school. Definitely one of the ones I would bring to school with me. So that was pretty cool.
yeah,
And then just I was just blown away by the beats, everything, and just every song on here you listen to from top to bottom. Very, very, very good album. Not, I don't think there's one bad track on this album at all. So I was just very, very impressed. And just excited, and I felt like he deserved it. And then I was watching a little bit of MTV a little more during that time. So definitely remember the X video was in heavy
yeah.
rotation for the most part. And yeah,
Yeah,
so
that was a cool video right there.
yeah, 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 definitely, definitely. But anyway, so get into the album artwork. What are your thoughts on that?
I like the. To me, it was cool because when I was just reading through the booklet in the CD, I was just reading the credits and
Hmm.
everything. And what I like is the Restless tattoo was done by a Mr. Cartoon, which is like a notable figure in
Yeah,
the
oh,
art and tattoo industry.
yeah,
So I
Mr.
thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Mr. Cartoon. Yeah, he. I'm a big LA Clippers fan for you listeners and watchers out there, and yeah, he did the old English Los Angeles jerseys for him. So yeah, he's pretty popular in the LA scene in terms of making great art for
Yeah, yeah,
for anyone
and
that
like
needs it.
yeah, for sure. And yeah, like he did the lettering on the Restless part of the album, and then
Mm.
where Exhibit's holding up his forearms, he did those tattoos, the X and the Z right there. So yeah, it was just a pretty cool idea. I like the whole layout of the album cover, and the photos inside.
Yeah, I see a lot of blue in the album cover, so I don't know if he was a Crip or not. But I mean, he came to LA kind of late, so I don't think he really ran with like any gangs when he came out here. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I don't know. Someone can correct me on that. But in terms of I like how he has his fist up. Just
Yeah,
his classic X logo. Yeah, that
yeah,
circle with the with the things pointing out in the four corners. That's cool. And then
looks like a ninja star.
yeah, listen, yeah, yeah, kind of can look like a ninja star.
Yeah, yeah. I always liked that his little logo right there.
Yeah, yeah. It's I don't know why he went away from it later on, but I'm always intrigued by like hip hop groups like Public Enemy. I know
Yeah,
I'm biased when I say this, but Bones Thugs and Harmony, just like how they've kept their
for
logos over the years. Wu Tang Clan,
for
just
sure. Yeah. See, I feel the same way. Like it,
mhm.
it becomes an icon to the artist.
Yeah,
and then if they take it away or they get tired of it or whatever, it kind of just removes that association, and you're no longer like kind of really attached like in that sort of way. Like, because what if Wu Tang removed their logo?
yeah,
It'd be different. It'd be a little weird, and
yeah, yeah. Even well, I know Ice Cube changed his logo, but those first 3, 4 albums with Ice Cube, with that whole classic black on white that he had
yeah,
going on there, that's I know he has it in like wears it like in some of his merch and stuff. So
yeah,
so that mean he's kept it around. So I mean he definitely hasn't forgotten about it. But I feel he should have. He'd be icon with his logo if he had kept that. Just
yeah, yeah,
I mean, yeah, definitely rapper logos, but yeah, just little wondering because if you look at his new album, The Kingmaker, not on there at all. So,
right, yeah,
so,
yeah,
but so anyway, the production. So let's get into the production. This album has some hard beats on there, and he worked with a lot of
yeah,
great producers. So
yeah. Definitely had quite a few good tracks on there. A lot of the beats on there were pretty dope.
yeah, he worked with a lot of producers on here, from Sir Jinx to Battle Cat, Dr. Dre, DJ Quick, Eric Sermon, Superfly. Can't forget about Superfly,
Yes,
Mailman. Even Eminem produced a track on here. So,
yeah.
so what are you going beat wise? What are you feeling? What 2 or 3 beats or one beat you thought stood out?
Well, which one that always stands out to me, and I always go back to
Hmm.
this one when I first get back onto the Restless album is the track for track
Oh,
4.
oh yeah, was a very good one, and yeah, Dr. Dre produced that one. Dr. Dre was on the track too.
Yeah, Dre and Knots
Hmm.
co-produce. But yeah, you can hear that piano, that
Yeah.
iconic Dre piano. So that's always been my favorite. That piano loop right there was like just it stood out, like it was like a hard track right there. So that was one of my favorites. And then I liked that beat for X.
Oh yeah, that was a good one too. Yeah, Dr. Dre,
Yeah,
Melman, and Scott Storch. Yeah, they did that one. So
yeah, yeah. I like that one and Front to Back, of course, from the Rock Wilder. That was a cool track. I haven't even heard lately of any Rock Wilder beats, but I felt like during that time in the early 2000s, that was like the Rock Wilder's like time right there when he was producing quite a few tracks for people. But
yeah,
yeah, Front to Back was like one of my other favorite beats from there.
yeah. I think for me, it's kind of a tough one, and when it comes to beats, because this is a very well produced album. Because I can go like in a lot of ways, but in terms of best sounding, uh, Get Your Walk On, I think was a really good one. In
Yeah,
terms, especially
that
if
one
you
too.
if you want to like crip walk or whatever. Then I feel
Yeah,
that
that one.
that was a very good beat.
Yeah,
And then the 2 that Dr. Dre did, well, it's a tie between and the Best of Things. I think the Best of Things is a very good beat, also kind of similar to but yeah, Best of Things I think was a pretty hard beat as well.
yeah,
And in terms of the other beats, I know Battle Cat did his thing on Been a Long Time, and the last track, Loud and Clear. DJ Quick, he had a good beat there, and then Don't Approach Me with Eminem. That was you know great beat,
yeah.
and
That one too. That
Alcoholic
one
was a
was
good
one of my
one.
favorites. Yeah, Don't Approach Me was a good one.
Yeah, and then even Rick Rock with the DNA, Drugs and Alcohol was that was also a good one. So
Yeah,
pretty yeah, you can't. I mean, if you love beats, you love your production, especially your West Coast production. Just you got it there.
yeah, yeah. But on the other hand, too, there was like about one or two where I didn't really feel too much
Yeah,
on the track. Yeah, there was like a couple where I was just like, it's all right.
yeah. Maybe the Kenny Parker show with KRS One. That was
Yeah, that one was like one of my least favorite.
yeah. Nothing personal to KRS One. Speaking of
No,
KRS One, we got to do what is it Boogie Down Productions album. We hadn't done one. Yeah,
yeah, that one or one of his solo albums too.
yeah,
Like there's quite a few that
yeah.
Kara is one of my favorite as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I
yeah,
hadn't forgot about KRS-One, and we
yeah.
do mid to late '80s rap on the show as well. All right, so let's get into the singles. I guess we can save the best for last. Um, let's start with one of the good. I think all of them are good. Get Your Walk On.
Okay.
Get Your Walk On. I like the video. He has his hair down in the video, and I think that's like one of the only times I've ever seen him like with his hair down like that in like a music video or like when he's performing. Kind of looked like Mac 10 almost kind of, but
Yeah, yeah. That single or that music video was pretty good. That one was cool.
and then in terms of the song, I mean, I just like the beat how he flows through the song with it, and just I feel in terms of singles, it was a good choice for a single,
Yeah,
and just I feel all the verses were good. The chorus, get your walk on, get your head tight. I know you're feeling
yeah,
this shit. This shit is dead right. Get your
yeah.
bounce on.
That
Back
was a
that
hard
ass up.
right there.
Bitch, bounce to the bottle. Fill your glass. I'm like,
Yeah,
yeah, I like how, he was able to just do the entire song by himself, even the chorus. And, the rhymes were good. And, just everything. It was a
yeah,
good song. Just great choice for a single. What are your thoughts?
yeah. I agree. Like, "Get Your Walk On" was a dope one. "Front to Back" was also one of my favorite singles too. That one as well as "X."
Hmm.
Yeah, that one was a cool one too.
Yeah, front to back. Just I think. I mean, I like how the lowrider, in the beginning, they're bouncing, off the car and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought
yeah,
that was pretty cool.
yeah.
Um,
That's what mainly caught my attention with the music videos because there was like two cars bouncing,
yeah,
head to head with each other, and
uh,
at the time I was like really big into the low riding and cruising with with some of my family members, and yeah, so that music video just stood out to me and became like one of those videos where I just would go back to from time to time.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And then as for X, I mean, I guess some would probably arguably say it's his best solo performance to date. The video was good. I mean, I liked how Dr. Dre was in the video, and then Snoop just starts talking at the end for whatever
Yeah,
reason. Not to say that it ruined the song, but it's just like,
I like how
uh,
Snoop. Yeah, I like how Snoop went in there on the end though. Like he added his own twist to it. Like he would just say X and then he would say some lines after that, and he just added his own flavor to the song, and I thought it was pretty cool.
yeah,
Yeah, it was good.
exuberant, extravagant,
Yeah,
extraordinary, exciting,
X marks it.
a lotta,
The
exo.
one that stood out was where he's like, X marks the spot. Nah, X spots the marks. Remember that
Xbox,
part?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck, nah.
yeah,
Xbox the marks.
yeah,
Exclamation point. Yeah, just I mean, I would have liked to, see, him have a verse, but I mean, I guess you can kind of say he didn't need to rap on the song to,
yeah. He
yeah,
was letting him shine. He was letting Exhibit
yeah,
do his thing and have that spotlight.
yeah. I think he, if anything, I think this is a song that he and Dr. Dre gave Exhibit, the stamp of approval. Like this guy's here to stay. He
Yeah,
ain't going anywhere. He's made it to the. He went from the underground to the mainstream, and that's you
yeah,
always like to see stories like that for the most part. So,
yeah, definitely. And that's what this Restless album is.
mm,
Became like a mainstream pillar for West Coast, for West Coast rap. It made it to that level.
yeah, and he worked, and he worked hard, and then I think this album made people want to go back and listen to his previous work, 40 Days, 40
Yeah,
Nights, At the Speed of Life. Just yeah, he grinded. I mean, people, and I feel like people in the LA scene knew who he was, but like I said, he wasn't known really on that mainstream level, like across the country. So, because he did get radio play with his other joints. So and of course, Pimp My Ride, I think put him over the top. So
yeah, that helped out definitely.
yeah, definitely helped out. Yeah. Uh, Too bad I couldn't get my car pimped out back in the day, but it is what it
Hey,
is.
maybe it's a good thing you didn't. It probably would have been some exaggeration as
Yeah.
to anything on
It-
there, man. All the cars on there were highly exaggerated.
yeah, I think some of them, what they would do sometimes, I think they would buy or find duplicates of those like cars that they were pimping out, I guess. So,
Yeah.
and then I know there was one episode where they couldn't pimp the car, so I think Exhibit
Oh,
went somewhere and bought like a Scion or something,
oh, that's right. I remember something like that. Yeah, that he bought a car and
and then
just
they just pimped that out. So
yeah.
yeah. Shout out to West Coast Customs.
Oh, yeah. I wonder, are they still around? Are they still in business, or
I,
have you
th-
heard
I
anything?
think I think so. I mean, last I heard they were in like Corona or something.
Oh, damn.
For those in Southern California, I think that's where they're located now. I mean, I'm
Okay.
sure they're still around, I know they had like a show like on before it became Bally Sports. I think Fox Sports would air like some of the stuff that they were doing, but I mean, it wasn't like in the MTV way anymore. So
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely. They had to switch it up.
yeah, they definitely had to switch it up, and so I mean, I think they're still around. I mean, if they are, let us know in the comments if they are. But
Uh,
all right, so we get to that part of the episode where we talk single. I mean, not singles. Our favorites. So what you got?
my favorites, front to back, um, Don't Approach Me, Best of Things, Get Your Walk On,
Hmm.
X, Alcoholic.
Damn, that's
Those
way more than
all those
three.
were yeah. It was hard, man. This album had like quite a bit where I was just like, yeah, I can't let that one go.
All right.
Uh,
So pretty much all. How many tracks was that? 8 tracks.
I got 8 of them right there.
All right, for me, I was able to narrow down to three. It wasn't easy though.
Now lay them all out, man. Which ones?
Yeah. So alcoholic,
Yeah.
and then the other one I went with was "Don't Approach Me." I feel like that's a great song. And then last one I got to go with was So I feel like the deep cuts here outweighed the radio hits, in my opinion. But I mean, not to say. I mean, the radio song. I mean, you can't go really wrong with what song you like on there. But yeah, that's the three I'm going with. Uh,
Yuno's a
you,
sure has to
yeah,
be on
yeah,
top favorite.
yeah. That's definitely probably the best deep cut on there. And then alcoholic, and then uh, yeah, just don't approach
Don't
me.
Approach Me.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
just
one was cool.
yeah. So I think with don't approach me, it also had a music video. I think the music video was through like old concert footage, but it was official apparently. And just I feel I just really like how they tell their story in that song. Just like, hey, we're normal people, we're not behind the mic, especially with Eminem. I think Eminem low key kind of steals the show on "Don't Approach Me."
Yeah, I feel like with Eminem, that's because of how he blew up pretty fast off the Slim Shady album, and the fans pretty sure overwhelmed him during that time. So I think his relation to that was a lot greater. So I feel like maybe that's probably why he probably
Hmm.
stole it, because he related to the whole pressure with fans and being in public and
Yeah,
not being able to go somewhere without being
yeah. He
approached.
he was being not, I wouldn't say harassed, but people were stalking him. I mean, I know there was an instance where his address did end up on the internet, and then
That's right. I
yeah,
remember.
yeah,
Yeah,
and then just like because online stuff was it's not deep as it is now, but it was just kind of getting started back then, and
yeah,
just they
yeah,
definitely had to take what he was saying seriously. Like, if anyone comes to the house, or I'm gonna shove the
yeah.
gun. He tried to be a little funny about it, then just was like he's just like you
With a
know
serious undertone.
yeah, and then it's just like, why? Because I don't answer my door. Like, hey, I'm signing autographs for y'all. Like, like, no one should have to do that. That's just ridiculous. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, that is just ridiculous. No, that's not cool. Like, but But yeah, I'd like the message behind the song, and then Alcoholic is just, I mean, if you like to drink, it's just a good song to drink to.
Yeah, definitely.
Eric
And
Sermon kills it, J. Ro kills it, Tash kills it. Just
yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you like the Alcoholics, like you've got to like this
yeah,
track on the album
yeah,
because the Alcoholics are with it right here. Tash, J. Roll,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. That's definitely a shout out to his early days with them. E Dub. Just
Yeah,
yeah, just yeah, that's a good song, great beat, and I've seen him perform that at concert before. He has the crowd going out when he does that one. So
nice.
yeah, and then yeah, it's just a great song. No, I'm just kidding, but
Yeah. Every time I could just like see the title, and I already hear the piano
mhm.
loop in my head. I can just hear it already. It's just one of those tracks that just always stood out to me. The production on that was dope.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's one of Loki. I think it's one of Dr. Dre's best rap performances. Also, like if I were to give like a top 10, maybe not, maybe at least in his features, I feel like this is definitely one of them. I feel he
Yeah, this one
really,
would be one of them.
yeah, he really did really good in this song, and just he's not really known too much for his rapping abilities, and a lot of the stuff is ghost written for him. But I think if he did write this himself, I mean, I feel like he did a good job, a great job.
Yeah.
So, and then any other favorites you wanted to talk about besides those? I know Best of Things,
No,
DNA.
no, you know what? That one was on my least favorite. The DNA one.
I thought the beat was great. It wasn't. I mean, it was nowhere on the level of Alcoholic. Don't get me wrong, but I feel like he and Snoop did all right. I don't think it was the worst song on the album, if I'm being honest. But any other song you want to shout out? Been a long time with Nate Dogg. That was a good one. Loud and clear. Sorry I'm away so much. I think that was a nice song to his son at the because I know he was like his oldest at the time, and just, well, I mean, still his oldest, but yeah, I feel like he had to explain like what he was doing. I know he had him at a very young age, so because I think he had his kid like at 17, I think, or something like that. So he was
Yeah.
still like a kid himself.
Yeah, you know what? Which other one was Rims and Tires? Because I've always been a Defare fan, and with
Hmm.
him on there, I had to check that one out. That was a cool one too for me.
All right, all right. So, that's a good one. Great singles, great music videos. What were our favorites? So, in terms of album cuts and expansions, like I was saying at the top of the episode, I really wish they could have put Year 2000 on here.
Yeah,
That would have really turned it out. But that's a great song. Definitely, the single, it's available on streaming services, so definitely look for it. I have the vinyl. It's somewhere, but yeah, I have the vinyl for it.
oh, dope, dope.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I think I must have passed it up. I think like once or twice. I should have got it, but
yeah.
yeah,
That's a good song. Yeah, very good
it is.
song.
Yeah, yeah,
All right, recommendations that I was able to come up with. I tried to go with albums that were out around this time or coming around this time. Eminem's the Marshall Mathers LP. I mean, he exhibit guest appearances on makes an appearance on that, so definitely check that out. Bitch Please too. That was a good one with him, Eminem, Dr. Dre, and Snoop Dogg. DJ Quick, Balance and Options. If you like Quick Productions, I think you'll probably like this one. Good DJ Quick album. All of them around that time were really good. And
yeah,
then Snoop Dogg's The Last Meal. It was Dr. Dre produced. His last album on No Limit before he did Paid the Cost to Be the Boss. Any recommendations you want to add?
I would probably say Snoop Dogg and the East Siders during that time. Um,
Oh yeah, that was also
yeah, I would say that one was a good one. That's a good one to check out as well
all right. Yeah, I
during
think
that time.
all right, cool. Definitely. Thank you for that. All right, final thoughts on this album. Would you recommend? Did we get it right? Final thoughts, Ray, before we close this episode out?
Yeah, I would say for anyone that's heard of Exhibit or hasn't really heard too many tracks of his, I would say start off with this album and really soak this in with the production and his penmanship on the lyrics, because I think this is one of his best albums.
All right, yeah, definitely. I would probably say the same if you want to check out and do it by albums, but single wise, definitely paparazzi. Definitely can't go wrong with that.
Yeah,
But in terms of albums, if you want to listen to like a full album front to back, definitely check this one out. All right, for Ray, Vandal Society, this is Justin Too Tall for You Fool. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Let us know if you got it right. What tracks did you like, did not like? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, we will see you all on the next one. Peace out.
peace.